Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be underway in just 2 minutes. I'm not presentable, so you won't see me, but you will see the cheese. And it's your opportunity to get your own. Wow. Very, very exciting opportunity to participate in the Internet Catalog Club protocols. We're here to update you on some amazing new developments, and we'll be underway in just a couple of minutes. So thanks for joining us. Another beautiful day here in the Dominican Republic. A little on the warm side, but those big puffy clouds floating in a clear blue sky, just amazing. And I know some of you are freezing. Oh, gee. I was talking with one of our newest members, Nick's in Syracuse, out there shoveling snow. Wow. Something I would never dream of doing again. We're going to be covering several things today, a few updates as we usually do. Then we're going to get into our latest and greatest attorney script with an introductory letter. We're going to cover why accept promissory notes from Regino and from Lastrada and whoever else comes along. We've got a new protocol called Retail LHP, zero cost, zero LHP, LHP zero retail USD. That's what it is. And acquiring it, how to do it, terms and conditions, business compensation, and I want to go over, are you buying? So those are the things we're going to cover today. So let's get started. I'm going to share screens, get our first documents up there. All right. Let me just get that first document up there. Okay. Introduction to attorneys. We all need one, or two, or three, or four. Seems to be moving very, very nicely in the United States. We have Scott on board in Pennsylvania. I don't know who the attorney is in Texas, but we have a new gentleman by the name of John and his trusty paralegal. She is, I'm sure, going to be learning with him. And that was confirmed this week with a conference call with Mr. B and John and Kenny and Eddie and myself. Awesome call. Just one of the best calls I've ever heard. If you could only be a fly on the wall. Anyway, great stuff was covered. And so we have that happening. We now have our corporate seal for Lastrada, but we don't feed it fish. And we are looking to have promissory notes starting to be issued probably next week. First one will be that biggie for the big ranch in Texas. And it's just exciting. So let's buckle down and take a look at how we can find an attorney for you. This is a letter that I put together and modified from the original letters that we put together. It was a pleasure to talk with you yesterday or whenever you were talking to him, and I've looked forward to our follow-up call at your earliest convenience. So again, follow-up is the key. As per our conversation, I'm providing you information in two areas that we presently need your services. One is regarding presentation of promissory notes to financial institutions, governments, and vendors. And the other is about a partnership with House Services, Inc., exchanging digital currency through promissory notes to USD. So they can do one or the other or both. Understand if they do become a House Services partner, they can sign on the promissory note with the issuance, but they cannot present it. So that's why we need more attorneys. Please find herein and attached information on what and how we do business with promissory notes and digital currency. Please note everything we do is legal, lawful, ethical, and very profitable for all participants. We already have 3 attorneys on board, but they're already very busy and we need more to assist us. We're hoping you and your law firm will consider working with us soon. We seek your counsel in assisting us with promissory notes to be either lodged directly with the bank or to be lodged in an escrow account that your law firm holds, and then you forward the funds to the bank and or legal or vendor's legal counsel. By the way, do you have any law firm bank accounts in other countries? And here are the links to use for your review. For the first 3 are the details outlining promissory notes, and the other is background for commerce through capitalism. So again, they go directly to the website. We don't want misinformation, so it's best that they get it right off the website. And certainly they're going to look around on the other things on the website, and don't worry about it. So the first one's the actual draft. The second one is the white paper on how to use it. The third one is how to exchange. And then I've included the Antal Ficchetti's document, number 22, great history on international bills of exchange and promissory notes backed by assets. So that'll get them up to speed. Why accept a promissory note? We're going to go over that today. And information regarding digital currency. So it links to the digital currency site on the website with all those links and the IRS and all the government overviews. And then the second part is we are also looking for a law firm to partner with us to create a digital currency exchange facility. This is outlined in this link, and we would like for you to consider participating with us. It provides superior revenue stream for your law firm. That link obviously is the House Partners link, and then I've also attached an overview to enlighten you on the future of digital currencies. This will change the way everyone does business, much like credit cards did starting in the early 50s. But this will be much bigger and more profitable for those who get involved. Please list any questions and concerns you may have. You can forward them to me so I may have the answers for our next follow-up call. I can assure you that should you see what we see and join us, your law firm will be paid handsomely for your efforts. Thank you in advance for your review of this information and your continued interest in working with us. Great success and all that we do to make this world a better place. Sign it, email, phone numbers, away you go. So there it is. All right, so you've got this to plop into an email, but how do you get there? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the script that's been modified. And you're always going to have gatekeeper unless you've got a direct contact from a referral with their main office line or their cell phone. So receptionist first. Hello, receptionist. My name is Gary Douglas, and I would like to speak with a senior partner about prepaying for substantial legal services. Can you please connect me? Who might that be? And write the name down, okay? You'll forget. Remember, if you're not practicing reading out loud and you're just reading this as a script, it's going to sound pretty canned. So I would urge you to buddy up with somebody and role play back and forth and get that down so it's really smooth, and then have a pad of paper beside you so you can write down the name. You might also want to consider using the MP3 recorder system for Skype if you're going to make all your calls with Skype, so you can record the call and then go back and see how you did. Now in the United States, you have to ask for permission, quote, by law to record the call. Keep that in mind. So then obviously when you get to the attorney, here's what you say. Hello, Mr. Jones. My name is Gary Douglas. I'm looking for an attorney who is entrepreneurial, open-minded, and who specializes in commerce, promissory notes, digital currency, and or emerging technologies. Would you fit into any of those categories? Now, you don't want to be calling a divorce attorney unless you've heard a rumor that they're not happy doing divorces anymore. So each category that's out there, you want to specify. So commerce, promissory notes, digital currency, and or emerging technologies. And if they say, yes, I would fit in, which ones? Well, find out. Well, yeah, we're specializing in commercial transactions, buy, sells, etc. And so, yes, we are involved in promissory notes. Don't know anything about digital currency and aren't really involved in emerging technologies. They'll tell you what they're doing, okay? So wonderful. Whatever they say, it's wonderful, all right? It doesn't really matter what they say, quite frankly. We just want them to be on the educational journey with us, and we'll teach them what they need to know. So they don't have to know about promissory notes. They don't have to know about digital currency. What they have to know is that emerging technologies like digital currency and what we're doing are going to make them rich, all right? So I'm looking for legal counsel that would be willing to work with me and my team to achieve our goals. We are prepared to prepay for your legal services, providing you will take our direction, follow our business model, and work with us and our senior advisors to create and work with our new company that's specializing in promissory notes and digital currency exchange. Would you be interested in exploring a working relationship with us? Yes? Great. No, not a problem. Could you recommend an attorney who might be interested? All right. Yes, Joe Blow, wonderful. No, no problem. Thanks for your time. So again, you're just going to do the numbers, talk to the receptionist first, get to the attorney, and it's amazing. You know, we've we've had some real challenges in Australia and New Zealand with attorneys, far more than anywhere else on planet Earth, and we actually started to think about how to find these people. Well, we actually plugged in digital currencies into Google, and a woman came up that was specializing in digital currencies. She wasn't interested in working with us. It just blows me away. I mean, she's focusing on Bitcoin, so I guess that she's got obligations to Bitcoin. Then we put in there about promissory notes, and we found a law firm that was specializing in promissory notes. And the doofus that saw the information that we sent said, oh, this is US, we can't do it. Well, they'd never heard of the United Nations UNCITRAL Convention. So after a brief explanation by Wolfgang, we're back on track and they're reviewing the material. So there is hope there, but we've had some other attorneys that just are pains in the butt. But anyway, that's the way life is. We've got to find the right ones. So next part, before we meet, I'd like to have your permission to send you information on how we would prepay for your services and some information on our business model. Would that be okay? Fine. Your email is, write it down. A quick question, if I may. In prepayment of your legal services, will it be done on your standard fee schedule, or will there be a discount for prepayment? I need to let my associates know. Thank you. Once you've reviewed this information, please contact me via email and we can set up a time to answer your questions. Will that work for you? Yes, no, maybe. All right, great. Thank you very much for your time. Watch for my email. It will say important information from Gary Douglas in the subject line so you won't miss it. Again, thank you for your time and I look forward to our next contact. Done. All right, so you've got the script, you've got the letter that you can send out, and just get them started. So the process is real simple. Get the information to them, they review the information. I have a call today with an attorney in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and that's for one of our newer members who has just launched forward with his LHP retail administration fee. Sent in the funds yesterday, got his attorney set up for a call today. Tomorrow I'm on a call first thing, well, actually first thing their morning, but not mine, and that is going to be noon my time in Colombia with an English-speaking attorney, but Eddie will be on that call. And then in the afternoon, I have another one. So I'm assisting members who are bringing attorneys to the table. I'm also working with my own attorney. We had great success in sending a Spanish letter that was signed by Eddie as the fetus officer, bank officer. And we're still waiting to hear back on that, but seems like we're making major inroads in a major government-owned bank here in the Dominican Republic. So everything's moving in the right direction. We've had promissory notes been issued, promissory notes been accepted. That $500,000 property in Oregon had the lien released within 3 days after a 4-day review of the promissory note. So in 1 week, lives changed. So you really need to study this and get serious about it. Now, if you want these scripts, you're going to have to contact me and tell me what it is you're going to try and do, and I'll assist you and I'll get you the scripts. But I'm not going to post them because I don't want you just out there shooting yourself in the foot. Get help. You know, it's a team effort. We all win. Now, in the two situations where we have the two attorneys on board, in both cases, we agreed to work together as a team. So you heard last week that Korea is a 1/3 partner as member with Gary and Eddie, and Kenny has consented to do the same thing. Now, that doesn't mean that down the road that they can't find another attorney, and because they've done well with this partnership, that they can go off on their own and get the full 20%. And I'm fully acceptable of that fact that it can be done. But my attitude is real simple. We're all learning, so let's all work together and share the pie, as opposed to screw it up and not know what we're doing, trying to get that 20%. So words of wisdom, that's all. All right, so we've covered the two scripts. Let's go now to the website. And again, if you're not seeing these things, I'll tell you where we're going next. You'll be able to see them on the recording, of course. I want to go over why accept a Rahino promissory note as payment. This is an awesome tool. It's already closed two really big deals because the people didn't quite understand the power of a Rahino, or now a La Strada promissory note, or soon there'll be another one available. Probably by the end of the month, we'll have another company set up in California. So our promissory notes are collateralized by the Internet Catalog Club accounts with Zcash with value equal to the face amount of the note. So there is an ICC membership set up specifically for the promissory note with the Zcash sitting in there, and the beneficiary of the promissory note has the password. It can go see it. Okay? Zcash qualifies as what the USA IRS defines as convertible virtual currency, and USA federal courts have ruled to be money. So you've really got to be focusing on taking a mental enema and flushing all that disbelief out of your being and follow what the IRS and the federal courts are saying. It's convertible virtual currency. You'll pay tax on it when you use it, and federal courts have ruled it as money. It's real legal tender. Now, does that mean everybody's going to accept it? No. Does it mean some will? Absolutely. So you got to find the some that will, or there's a couple of other options you can use. So you can see the information on the IRS advisory notice there on the link. As such, Zcash represents tender that, as the IRS describes, may be used to make payments. As such, Zcash qualifies as funds as per the Black's Law Dictionary. So that is probably the most prominent dictionary. There's a French dictionary that's used as well. But Black's Law is really used by most of the attorneys here in the United States. So there's the definition of fund. However, in its advisory, the IRS correctly makes a distinction between being usable to make payments in the USA and legal tender in the USA and in other jurisdictions, as that term only applies to means of exchange that have specifically been sanctioned by jurisdictional law, such as Federal Reserve notes. So when we look at usable to make payments, that's the means of exchange. Federal Reserve notes, our particular Zcash chips, promissory notes, but the US dollar is based on a measure of value in silver. Go read the What is Money document overview. So our promissory note is issued as per the United Nations UNCITRAL Convention. So there's the convention. Go look it up. Go read it. UNCITRAL has reportedly been officially accepted by 88 nations, including the USA, with USA law specifically being the law regulating our promissory notes. Thus, the logical conclusion would be that our promissory notes, regulated by USA law and issued as per the UNCITRAL Convention, is legal tender. In short, by Zcash being wrapped within a Rahino promissory note, it's not only legal tender in the USA, but in all nations that are UNCITRAL signatories. So go look up the list. All you have to do is go to the link up here and click on that link. Once you're there, go into the search and type in member nations, and it'll bring up a list of all the member nations, and you can go and see if your country's there. All right, or the country you want to work in is there. Australia's there, New Zealand's there, Colombia's there, Dominican Republic's there. So, you know, it's there. Go check it out. All right, Zcash has been used, being extensively used in commercial commerce for almost 20 years, and there are several ways to convert Zcash into legal tender currencies. But wrapping Zcash into a promissory note provides immediate conversion. See the difference? Immediate conversion, since a note qualifies as legal tender. It's not unlike a check. I sign the back of the check, I pass it over to my wife, Diana. She goes pay some bills with it. They take the check, they sign it over, give it to somebody else, and it might go through 10 or 20 people before it even gets to the bank. Just the same as a brand new $100 bill would go through several hands before it gets back to the bank. And that's exactly what is happening right now with Rahino promissory notes that are out there. People are using them as real money, legal tender. So a Rahino note is immediately collectible by transfer of ownership into the Internet Catalog Club account that holds the Zcash. So you go into the back office and you change the information to your information. So you change the password, it's your account, you've got that Zcash. Now what do you do with the Zcash? Well, you bring it back to the club and you put it through LHP retail. Costs you $5,000 to do it, but you double your money because you get the chips. And now you get 2 promissory notes. So it's worth $5,000 to do that? No, not for me, it's not. Okay, well then take the promissory note to the bank and work out the second opportunity with the bank, again, providing a CD and getting the CD securitized with CUSIP and ISIN numbers and get it traded. We'll be going over that in a moment. Now, alternatively, a Rahino promissory note is collectible in any currency. In fact, it can be made out in any currency. So when you're setting it up, you might need 3 or 4 notes in USD, 1 in Australian dollars, 1 in renminbi. I don't know what you're going to do. But by a lawful beneficiary requesting that the Rahino provide documentary funds that are guaranteed payable, backed by a large USD value deposited with a major world banking institution. So that's the second option. How documentary funds may be used as a means to exchange a Rahino note for other currencies may be reviewed in How to Exchange a Rahino Promissory Note. Now that goes for all promissory notes, and the draft of the Rahino is exactly the same for Lastrada and any other promissory note. They're all the same, just different names that will be on them, different partner groups that will be doing them. Okay, so great document to put out there to help people understand, especially banks and attorneys. All right, so next we're going to go to Retail LHP. And there's something new in Retail LHP. LHP Zero Retail. And you can see it has a 500 unit value as opposed to the LHP Retail Zcash at 3,000. And we have the page 2 gives us chips with 6,000. And on page 3, we got BVK. I think that's it. Yep, BVK. All right, so there you have it. So those are the blocks that you would take. If it's $1 million, I divide it by 6,000, and that tells me the number of units that I've got to put together when I put the order together. You don't have to do all this. I do it. All right, that's what the Work Center's responsibility is, to settle that up. Back to Retail LHP. Now we're going to look at acquiring LHP. So let's take a peek at that. Now, LHP, we've gone through on a couple of other webinars, so I'm not going to go through the traditional LHP. This has been covered, I think, once, but I really want to focus on this today because this is a real winner for all of us to make a lot of money. LHP, low-cost, high-value products may be acquired at retail cost without automatic resale by any member of the Internet Catalog Club. So again, our job is to invite new members to use our protocols. To make LHP retail purchase without an automatic resale, a buyer must deposit the funds that are to be paid into a certificate of deposit, CD, with a bank that's acceptable by House Services. Now, let's say you're already buying and selling automobiles, and let's say the average automobile you're buying and selling is $50,000. Well, your annual turnover is a few $1,000,000, and you're already doing that. You've already got a line of credit with the bank. So what you go to do is take a chunk of that, because you already got ready cash for buying vehicles. You take that and you create the CD. All right, you can do that with anything, and I'll show you an example that kind of hits home. The CD must be lodged by the buyer with a brokerage firm that's acceptable to House Services. Well, you've got to learn how to ask and learn the protocols, and you don't physically have to lodge it. The brokerage firm through the bank with the CUSIP and ISIN number will be lodging it, but you have a couple of options. You can use the bank's wealth management group, or you can come to me and I can hook you up with the wealth management group that we have that's doing our trading. The buyer, that's you, must arrange for licensed professional traders that are contracted with House Services to undertake electronic, non-depletion, non-risk trading using the CD as a basis. Now, I was talking with a gentleman this morning that is hopeful and confident that they're going to have a trade platform provide trading on the trade platform in Europe. Now, I've been in this arena 10 years, and I have been enticed to look at trading platforms. Lots of times they come up that they need insurance wrap, they need funds up front. I've not seen one work. Neither has Eddie. But more importantly, Mr. B has never seen one work either, and he's been in that arena for 25 years. So usually what happens is they get you into the process and you never see your funds. I have a gentleman that I was talking with earlier today that had a very sizable document deposited at a United Arab Emirates bank, and they won't even talk to him anymore. They just stole the money, okay, and it was a lot of money. And he was looking for help. I can't help him. I mean, if they won't talk to him, they certainly won't talk to me, and there's no way we can validate that the document that he's got lodged there is of actual value. So that's why doing the protocols that we have in place is very safe and secure. Plus, you have the 70/70 protocol that if anything does go awry, your butt's covered. You can just make the request and get all your money back. Can't do that anywhere else on planet Earth. We have the most secure and stable opportunity to build wealth through buying and selling of these senior financial instruments. We start off with the U.S. Treasuries. Once we've got the profits from the U.S. Treasuries, we can now go and take higher profit medium-term notes, etc. So they know what they're doing. I sure don't need to know, and you don't need to know either, other than we've got it in play. So the CD, if it's not big enough, the CD that you've got, because it's only $1 million or something, and we really are looking for 100 million. For independent trading, a buyer may negotiate through licensed professionals contracted with House to have the CD lodged into an account other than values sufficient, with other values sufficient for trading to take place. So it can be bundled with other stuff. After trading costs are taken out, profits will be distributed under the direction of House Services Inc., with 80% of the profits being used to pay for the LHP retail. So you needed $10 million for your project. 80% of the profits on every transaction is allocated to pay off that LHP retail that's been purchased. And then with 60% of the cost surcharge, and the remaining 20% being sent to coordinates as may be specified by the buyer. So we pay off the 10 million and you get 20% profit to boot. and you never had to spend your money. Why would you buy any other way? I don't care whether it's cars or trucks or buses or boats or real estate or sugar or sand or anything. If you're already buying and selling stuff in a big way right now, this is the only smart way to buy it. There's no risk. There's 20% profit. You get your product for free, and you got the CD that you can continue to trade. It says right here, after the LHP payment has been fully generated, another purchase contract may be arranged using the same CD. So you can do it again and again and again, or trading based on the CD would cease. And you get your CD back, and you got the money from the CD. So all of the above must formally be contracted through an attorney nominated by House Services. So it's legal, it's lawful, it's ethical, and it is very, 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 very profitable. So do we make any money doing this? Do we make any money promoting this? Well, absolutely. But before we get there, I want to go to the additional terms and conditions. And this is we're shouting at you. It's bright red caps. Why? Because you have to take responsibility. Remember, once you've given the promissory note to the other person, to the vendor, you're done. You've tendered legal tender. Now, they have to do something with the promissory note. And so we don't want you just walking away, though, and saying, it's your problem. You got to deal with it. No, we don't want to get a bad rap out there. A member that acquires LHP retail through this location acknowledges, agrees, and accepts that the LHP acquired will automatically be resold to Rahino LLC with payment of equal value being made by Rahino to the member with a Rahino LLC promissory note. A primary purpose of these terms and conditions is to assure that others that are not members, everybody's got to be a member, but you know what I'm saying, they're not on the educational journey. You just bought a house from them, and you've given them an ICC number, but they're really mentally not members, are they? They're just kind of, well, okay, I'll take the membership if that's what I got to do. So they may receive this Rahino note as payment and may rely on you presenting the notes to aid in assuring collection in currency that they want. All right? So you need to hang around and coach them, because by doing so, you'll get a stronger relationship with them, and they'll bring you more business. And that's what we want, buying and selling of stuff. So by accepting the Rahino promissory notes as payment for LHP or for other products and services, a member, number one, acknowledges that the member has read, understands, agrees with, and accepts all the information found in the publication in the digital currency site. So FYI, you've got to be studying this stuff. There is a test. Number two, acknowledges and accepts that Rahino LLC has no obligation related to the member or to any party to which the member may present Rahino LLC promissory notes other than as issuer to comply with the terms and conditions of the notes. Number three, commits that when presenting Rahino LLC notes to engage in transactions with other parties, the member will present to the other parties a copy of the document How to Exchange a Rahino Promissory Note for Other Currency, published in, there's the link. All right? So that's your obligation to coach them on how to get this exchange done. You also commit that irrespective of other steps that a member or other parties may take to use or collect on the Rahino LLC promissory notes or any promissory notes that come from the club, the member will use best efforts to seek out and present business to Texas Holdings, Inc. Why? Because by presenting business to Texas Holdings, Inc., it can pay off the promissory note. We don't even need a bank to do it. And that's what we're going to spend some serious time today discussing, bringing business to Texas Holdings. As indicated in the document, How to Exchange a Rahino Promissory Note for Other Currency, so as to assure that Rahino LLC promissory notes obtained through the site by the members may be exchanged by the member or lawful beneficiaries for other currencies through business profits, as described in Texas Holdings, Inc. Business Compensation Plan, published in the link. Okay? And finally, number five, by accepting the terms and conditions at checkout, a member will also be accepting the terms and conditions as stipulated herein, because there's another set of terms and conditions. So make sure you're reading all this stuff and you're prepared to go to bat and learn how to do it yourself, but more importantly, teach others to do it with you. All right, so let's take a look now at the business compensation plan. February 18th, when a lawful beneficiary of a promissory note that is a member of the Internet Catalog Club negotiates with Texas Holdings, Inc. and agrees to bring business to THI for THI to exchange promissory notes for other currency, and THI accepts the business, up to 90% of the profits that a THI obtains associated with the business at THI's sole determination and discretion may be used to exchange promissory notes presented. So, you've got a house you want to buy for $1 million. You've got your own promissory note, but in the meantime, you say, well, what's the THI want to buy? They'll buy just about anything. They just bought 100 businesses that are designed to take natural gas and turn it into diesel fuel. So they just bought 100 of them. Well, when those are sold, not on a franchise basis, but similar to it, 90% of the profits on the sale of those businesses will be available to pay off your $1 million property. Now, if they're a $10 million deal, each one of them, because I think they're more than that, 90% of that 10 million allows you to have your 1 million paid off. Slam dunk. Did you need a bank? Absolutely not. Just bring big business, coal deals, sugar deals, soybean deals, pork bellies, all that kind of stuff where we can buy it and we can sell it. That's where we can make cash that pays off your promissory note. Okay? Thereafter, if the member of the Internet Catalog Club brings business to THI through which THI earns profits, THI shares in those profits as follows. Texas Holdings will allocate 1/6 of the profits to exchange through a commercial LHP process with a beneficiary, a Raheno promissory note that the member may designate. So you as the member are going to get 1/6 of the profits from that point forward. So you got your $1 million property paid off, and now the profits continue to roll in. You get 1/6, all right? Bright Star Work Center gets 1/6. And Eddie, as the International Logistics Manager, gets 1/6. So am I happy to teach you and help you how to do this? Yeah, because I get 1/6, and Eddie gets 1/6, and you get 1/6 of all profits, as long as that's in trade. And that could be years, decades, a lifetime. Get out there and find stuff to buy and sell and bring it to Texas Holdings. Bruce has got 5 farms and a dairy processing facility that he's wrapping up so that he can get a $72 million farm. He brings 5 farms in this milk processing facility. These are all dairy farms. Well, do you see how we start to get this thing happening? We got cows being milked, so we got raw milk. It's going to be processed in all the dairy products through the processing facility that we own. Can we start buying and selling in Zcash and chips? Absolutely. And then we get the retailers involved, the wholesalers involved, and pretty soon we can accept Zcash and chips everywhere. I plan on seeing a property this weekend, and I'm going to be speaking to the owner, hopefully, just waiting for confirmation. And it happens to be Coastal gas station and grocery store in between, it's in Sosua, Dominican Republic. They want, I think, 4.9 million, and they've actually raised the price over the last year $1 million. It's negotiable, so we negotiate, but it's a U-shaped facility. There's stores in a U, and the main store has a little meat department, a little bakery section, obviously a veggie section. You could do your groceries, and you could buy everything you need there. Well, then beside it, there's a real estate office, and there's a little restaurant there. There was a ice cream shop. There's a pool supply company. So they're all renting. So there's rental income from it. I'm going to buy that. Why am I going to buy that? Well, because everybody that goes there to buy their gasoline and buy their groceries will be able to buy groceries with Zcash, buy their gas with Zcash. So I will be able to start this commercial transaction using digital currencies on the North Coast very soon. You can be doing the same thing. You can find a facility that's just like that anywhere on this planet that you're living. There's all kinds of 7-Elevens and different types of grocery stores attached to. Yeah, they're not big grocery stores. They're just quickie marts and things like that. But that's a great place to get started because people can buy food and gas, and you'll be able to set it up that they can buy it with Zcash. And it will only be for members, so you're still getting all the regular buy and sells with whatever the currency of the day is, which in the United States would be Federal Reserve notes. But those members that catch on can start using their Zcash, and it'll grow. But you can still buy and sell what you need based on the profits from the USD. It's not like everybody's going to do it overnight. So start thinking about these things that you could be doing to immerse digital currencies into your local community. Take charge. All exchanges of promissory notes as per this protocol shall be executed as follows. The party offering the promissory note shall, by requesting the exchange, automatically use the note to pay for LHP that will be selected by Texas Holdings, Inc., with the note being automatically transferred to the entity that offers the LHP selected by Texas Holdings. Texas Holdings, Inc. shall then Texas Holdings shall then purchase the LHP from the party that purchased it, paying with funds obtained through the business process indicated herein, arranging for said funds to be deposited in an institutional account as designated by the party offering the LHP to Texas Holdings, Inc. Texas Holdings, Inc. and the party acquiring the LHP with a promissory note and reselling it to Texas Holdings, as well as the entity from which the LHP was purchased with payment made using the promissory note, shall each be responsible for their own taxes and or other required fees and charges. Now, you want to get yourself into your very first $5,000 admin fee, even if you shared it with 5 people and pooled the grand each, and you all went and got a promissory note or two to pay off somebody's mortgage or to do something, start a business, whatever the deal is. And then what you do is you get another promissory note issued for 50 grand or 100 grand that you go and negotiate and get cashed in to get the USD for, and you come back and you buy and prepay for 10 or 20 admin fees. So you never come out of pocket more than once for the 5 grand, and you're always able to pay it forward and cover anything you need. So if you need to pay taxes, well, you get a promissory note and pay the tax man. Remember, banks, credit cards, debts that are owed by the government, financial institutions. If you owe the government, you owe financial institutions for credit card debt and for mortgage loans, personal loans. They have to accept in the United States under the Uniform Commercial Code, they have to accept the promissory note. It's legal tender. And if they don't, okay, sirrah, sirrah, your debt is canceled. Now, I'm not saying that's the same in all other 88 UNCITRAL convention nations, but it's all negotiable. And there'll be more power coming to this each week that passes. We got to get out there, make people aware of it. This is powerful stuff. All right, so the next thing I want to go and show you is, are you buying? Well, Courier came to me and asked about the opportunity to be a surrogate. And yes, you could be a surrogate and you can make some serious money. And I'm going to show you how you can do that with any and all of these protocols. The challenge that I would suggest at the beginning is that you don't know what you're doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. So why don't we just let Texas Holdings do some buy sells that we're a party to, see it all unfold, and then we'll have the skill sets to go and do it so we don't botch the deal. But let's take a look at this. For most businesses to be able to offset costs of purchasing, this would be represent a major benefit. House Services Inc. in Texas, USA firm that has been managing funds for USA and international entities for almost 15 years. House has arranged for Texas Holdings Inc., THI, to provide 100% rebates for all purchasing that a business has made over the previous 12-month period, if the business is approved by House. So I don't care what business it is, just go to a company that's buying and selling oil, gas, the 7-Eleven, whatever they bought last year. Anything. We'll get you 100% rebate for $5,000. Well, what's the $5,000 for? Administrative fees and legal fees to pay the lawyer to create the promissory note to make it all work. Why wouldn't you do it? You see, if you say nobody's interested, it's because you haven't asked them. You're just thinking nobody's interested. Everybody I've talked to is interested in finding out more information. That's why I've got all these appointments set up. A business may submit requests for rebates of purchasing related expenses to any member of the Internet Catalog Club. All right, so you could be the start of the surrogacy. All right, you're going to be compensated by bringing that new member to the club to get their 5,000 set up. You get $1,000 for doing that. And the member would submit the request through Brightstar. If a request submitted is approved, THI may provide a business a Raheno promissory note valued at twice the value of the rebates requested. So they're requesting $10 million. All right. Now this could be done for wages. It could be done for what they purchased last year. Those two things are so super excited: wages, benefits, and taxes. They can cover all what they paid last year and get it all back. Now, requests for less than 100,000 must be added together with requests from others in order to make the process in a block, with one party being responsible for contracting and making payments to those included in the block of requests. So, let's start talking with some players that are doing 100,000 or more and looking for that kind of request. So they can go take a look at the draft note. To receive a note, a business must contract with THI to exchange a note received for USD bank deposit funds using the protocols followed in how to exchange a Raheno promissory note. So if it's a big player and they're buying 10, 15, $20 million worth of merchandise to sell again, no matter whether it's retailer, wholesale, or manufacturing, they probably have a pretty good relationship with the bank. And they go to their bank and say, look, I need some assistance here based on this redemption of exchanging the promissory note. I want you to take documentary funds to the tune of $250 million on deposit, and I want you to give me a loan against that so that we can do business with the trade platform to pay off my promissory note. And if not, I'm taking my business somewhere else. So they've got the clout. You and I don't have the clout. So that's why you want to be talking to some major businesses. Now, again, cold calling is tough, but it's done every day of the week, and it is profitable. Best way to do it is social network. Get yourself hooked up and follow on LinkedIn. Is one of the better places to probably do that. Facebook, as far as I'm concerned, is a waste of time and energy, but it's great for family and friends to communicate, but not necessarily for business. So I would urge you to get yourself hooked up in that respect. But the best way to do it is exactly what's had the success for Kenny and Korea, just talking to their warm market. Who do you know that knew an attorney? They both were referred to people that knew attorneys. Then who do you know that has a big business that's buying a lot of stuff? Great. Well, can you introduce me to this person? That's the best way to do it. And so what happens is the value of the note is for 200%, as will be stipulated in the contract. A business must return as change or overpayment of the rebate 50% of all the funds. So that's the profit. And that profit is going to allow you to get your promissory note cashed in a heartbeat, isn't it? Because they've already gone to the bank, they've already gone into trade, they've already got these profits working, and so there's 200%, 100 of that percent pays for their promissory note, and the other, you get 90% to pay your promissory note. You see why it's so important to be bringing businesses to Texas Holdings? We do not need to do the banking. The people that have these big notes, they can do that. They've already got the clout to do it. Now, if you could bring on a bank, hallelujah. But you're not required to do that. What you are required to do is bring business to THI that they can buy, just like these huge big businesses that they just bought 100 of, and they'll be selling them off so that people can take natural gas and turn it into diesel fuel. And it's worth like 5 to 10 times more the value. All right. So funds returned to Texas Holdings may be distributed as per the compensation plan. That's where that 90% goes out. Additionally, to initiate the process, a business must pay the LHP retail fee. So what's it worth to you to get 100% of everything you paid for last year? Wages is one, and then another $5,000 fee would be return of all the purchases they made. Now the good news is once they've done this once, they got the $5,000 to do it again and again and again. Then they get themselves involved in employee gold, and so they can get Zcash to cover all their year's expenses for this year. So they get it all back from last year, and they can now build for the future, cover it for this year and build for the future. It's just so wonderful what we have to offer. Now, however, a business may promote other business with Texas Holdings through which payment for the fee may be earned or recovered, or a business may recover the cost of the fee by including it in the amount to be rebated. So they're going to get their money back. Stop whining and crying about the price of the shovel. You got a gold mine here. $5,175. Why the $175? Because it gives you the opportunity to get your application submitted for employee gold. I recommend that that's what you save up, do for yourself personally, and share with everybody else to do as well. Now let's bring it a little closer to home. And so I created an example here, and you may want to be buying a new house, or you may know somebody that wants to buy a new house. Let's just say a $500,000 house. Why go into long-term debt for $500,000 when you don't have to? Using LHP Zero Retail -USD, you may buy anything you want and get paid to do it. We just went over it, but I'm just going to specify that we're going to buy a $500,000 house. So here's what people are doing out there right now. They got to get pretty darn good credit these days to buy a house, and they're going to need 20% down. All right, that may vary, but let's just say that that's the standard in the industry now because of all the bad paper that was written in the big crash of 2008. So you buy the $500,000 house. Traditionally, you need 20% down. You've saved up $100,000. You go to the bank, get the loan for $400,000. I don't know what the interest rates are. It depends on the country, depends on the bank, but 3 to 10% probably. I don't know if it's any cheaper than that or more expensive. Doesn't really matter. 25, 30-year, 40-year mortgage. Then you own your home. How long have you been doing this? I've done it several times in my life. And you know, the amazing thing is that if you sell your house, you think you made out like a bandit, especially in the 70s when, you know, inflation was taking its toll. But really, you paid so little to the principal, the interest ate it all up, so you didn't get it anyway. So there is a better way. So if your credit's good, you can go to the bank as in the above example, but instead of buying the house immediately, you negotiate with the bank to purchase a certificate of deposit, getting the best interest rate you can. I don't know what it's going to be, 1%, 2%, 3%, 1 year, 2 years, 5 year, I don't know. You got to negotiate that. So let's say you request a loan for $500,000 to buy their bank CD. And now you have monthly payments to deal with. Well, I got to repay the loan. Well, remember, you got $500,000 loan. They're giving it to you because you're actually going to stick it right back in their bank, so they never had to issue that money outside the bank. Well, they may say, well, we'll do it, but you know, you got to put some skin in the game, maybe $20,000 or $30,000. I don't know. I'm just making this as a recommendation to try. So go out there and do it if you want to buy a house this way. So the idea would be that if they did the full $500,000, knowing that, you know, the money's not going anywhere, it's fully securitized, the CD's there, you get a CUSIP and ISIN number, and you bring the CD to trade. Well, that still left you the 20% down that you had. Now you can cover the monthly payments until the profits come in, and once the profits start coming in, you don't have to worry about the monthly payments anymore. So again, I just copied these details. To make LHP retail purchase without automatic resale, buyer must deposit the funds that are be paid into a certificate of deposit. So you go ahead and negotiate for that certificate of deposit, and you borrowed the money to get. Now, if you had the money, and there's lots of people out there that have got money and don't know what to do with it, well, this is a great way to get it whatever you want. The CD must be lodged by the buyer with a brokerage firm. The buyer must arrange for the professionals to do the trading. Well, we're going to coach you on how to do that. Now, if the CD is not sufficient of value to be traded independently, you can negotiate to bring it into a larger group. So you participate in the LHP 0 Retail-USD protocol. You pay the $5,000 fee. You'll have monthly payments. So if you negotiated well, you still have your original 20% down payment, or maybe 10%. And that provides the $5,000 min fee and the monthly payments until the trades produce profits to take over the monthly payments. Eventually, the loan gets paid off for the CD. So now you have a fully paid for CD, still making profits to a point where it now pays for the house. What a fabulous opportunity. Let's go back to option one. Do option one, pay 4 to 5 times the amount of the house in interest on the bank loan, or pay off the CD and the house with profits from the trades. What did it cost you? Your time to negotiate the deal and the seed capital for the $5,000, and maybe what you had to give the bank for skin in the game for them to give you the loan. That's all. So what a fabulous opportunity. I will post this on the website, Legacy Assurance site, in the 2015 news, and then I'll put it in one of the side links as well. But I'm telling you, we've got everything in place to make a lot of money right now for each and every one of us. And there's no excuses other than you. And that's up to you. If you don't want to do it, it's no skin off my nose. I am doing very well. Thank you very much. Eddie's doing very well. And, you know, just this one deal, the 6% on that promissory note, when it gets all the profits, was like $144 million. So you're missing out. And this is over and above all the BVK and Zcash you've got. Just start bringing businesses that are buying and selling. Walmart, Kmart, all those companies are hurting really bad. You might know somebody who knows somebody in a position of authority that you can actually get audience with, and I'll help you make the presentation. Let's do it together. It's a team effort. So there you have it for this week. I think I've covered everything. I'm super excited, but I'm also super tired because I've been doing appointment after appointment after appointment. In fact, I've got 2 more appointments to do now. So one with an attorney and one with a new member. So great success. Come work with me. Let's get this done. Let's get out there and tell the world we've got the only viable solution to get out of debt and to make this world a better place. God bless you all. Thanks for being here.